played really, really well offensively. Just, Kale and Mamu and the problems that he causes, particularly in the second half with him. Thought we did a decent job on him in the first half. Didn't do a very good job locating him as much in the second half. But, there are a lot to deal with, when you get guys like Roden and Kale and Mamu, and Samuels makes 2 threes in the first half, and obviously tremendous point guard play from both of those guys, Reynolds and Aiken. But, bottom line for us, you can't get down 18 against a team that good offensively. And it's a little bit too huge of a hill to climb. And then, second half, I think, another critical stretch, we cut it to 2 right away. And then we allow them to go on a 5-0 run to get it back to 7 going into that first media timeout. That turnover versus the pressure there, was a killer in terms of having that lead go back to 7. We should have been going into that first media 2-point game and now feeling pretty good about where we were. So, but credit Seton Hall, those guys are good. They're old. That is an older veteran team. That's really good.
And you cut an 18-point lead to 2, as you said, and you shot great in the second half, 60%. But it seemed like every time you make a hoop down the stretch, you couldn't get a stop. They would answer you back. Just talk about your second half defense.
Yeah, just individually, I just think we got, they just took us. We allowed, we didn't play good enough individual defense, and the shot clocks, closeouts, getting through screens. We just didn't, we scored enough today to win. We just obviously couldn't guard them individually. And, they had just a multitude of guys making threes, which made it hard to kind of sink in and play off people because, when Aiken's out there with Kale and Roden and Mamu, and then they got a big at the rim, they spread you out. It's hard to guard them.
You started the game 1 for 9 and 5 of 18. How much of that was a factor of the guys not being in the rhythm after being off for the 10 days?
No, everyone, nobody wants the pauses. Everybody wants to play. That was, to me, absolutely a byproduct of having not played and being a little bit kind of out of rhythm. I mean, we were getting great shots. I yelled at them while that was going on, keep playing. You're getting great shots. We couldn't make anything. And they were obviously making their shots. It hurts when you go pause. It hurts. It's not an excuse, but it's just a reality.
And on the bright side, great efforts by Jalen Gaffney again, career high 20. And also you got 20 good minutes by Jackson. Just talk about what those 2 guys brought to the table today.
Yeah, Jalen flashed, the offensive potential that we've been hoping to see there. That was really encouraging. Defensively, though, he played well enough for us offensively to be in the game, but defensively, like a number of guys, played poorly enough for us to lose the game. So we, that's the next step for him because you could see he's potentially has some dynamic ability, but just that gritty defensive mindset's the next step for him. But that was encouraging. And Dre, we wanted to play him probably 15 to 18 minutes. The fact that we got him to 20, I think is encouraging. And obviously, we're excited about getting him out there more. And then obviously getting that other dynamic guy out there with him too.
Anybody else have a question? I don't see any hands. Go ahead, Dom. Dom, you're muted.
There you go. Dan, there's a key point in the game, obviously, when they were up 7, they were able to stretch it to 10 with a technical what happened there? Can you describe what went on there?
They said it was a bench, that our bench was too boisterous, reacting to, the call that wasn't made there. It's, that's a tough one, obviously. And that is obviously that's my first technical of the season, because the one at Creighton, was, they could put that on the books like I got one, but that wasn't a technical. So I guess that was either me or the bench. I got two different explanations as to whether it was me or the bench. One ref said that it was the bench. The other ref said that I was out of the box, and I wasn't out of the box, so I'd imagine it was on the bench. But I thought they missed a couple of travel calls. I thought Mamu clearly traveled in front of their bench and then went in and dunked it with his right hand when it was 4 or something. But it's just like, that was an intense game. That was fun. It was fun to be a part of. There was like a lot of, just a lot of juice to that game. Benches were into it. There was just a lot of intensity on the court. It was an important game. There was no crowd. Like, let it go, man. Like, come on. You kidding me?
Gavin?
Dan, did you see this performance from Jalen kind of building that it was, in the last couple of games he started to come on a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, he had his best practice that I've ever seen him have 2 days ago. He was tremendous. And I think you saw signs. Obviously, Creighton, there was some flashes, and then, and against Butler, I thought he looked good. He's in a much better frame of mind. And if you would have told me going into the game that we get 20 from him, we get 7 from Dre, we get 12 from Adama, I would have probably said to you we'd win the game. But we just didn't. We didn't guard well enough, and then we just didn't get enough. We lost some other matchups pretty big.
Dave?
You mentioned Andre, obviously. Is this kind of a glimpse of what you expected from him in terms of the athleticism, good rebounding, just the all-around game that we can kind of expect from him moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, he's scratching the surface. He's had a brutal, the guy's he's dealt with so much. He's had the minor, like, knee cleanup stuff that just took everything up through really November. He wasn't able to do anything. And then, right as, we're getting to the point where he's had enough work in practice, coming out of the Creighton home game where we're really just going to, throw him out there and get him comfortable. He fractures the wrist. So, yeah, I mean, you saw glimpses of it. You saw obviously the splash play, which really got us going. And, he really doesn't even know what he's doing out there yet. Once he gets a feel, and, and we get book night back, we're going to look much different. We're going to look much different.
Jeff Jacobs?
Yeah. Hey, Dan, a little bit more on Jalen Gaffney. When Book comes back, how do you envision him playing? Like you said, I mean, like Reynolds got that big hoop on him at the end, but he really is showing some dynamism there. How does he fit into the guard picture when you have a number of guards and he's playing like that? What kind of role do you envision for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean, coming into the year, we looked at that as a real point guard competition, point guard battle. Obviously, RJ won it, and Gaffney's coming on, strong. There's enough minutes for everybody in terms of rotation. At times, we're going to play small or, play a point. With Dre and Tyrese, you can do it. At times, and Book when he's back, because you've got athleticism and you've got size. But I mean, to be honest with you, because of how banged up we've been with Cook not being able to kind of get back, and Book and Dre being out, we've had to gift minutes, or we've had to play people minutes out of necessity. Whereas now, I think as Book's obviously close to returning, or closer, you've got to play well to stay on the court. And if you're playing bad, you got to get off the court. And that's what goes on at good programs and good teams. So as Book gets healthy and he gets back into the mix with Dre now firmly in the mix, there's pressure on people. We didn't have enough guys that performed well enough today.
If I could follow up just on your gut feeling about this game, I'm watching, and you're clearly rusty early on. You don't have rhythm. Then you charge back, and you have guys who hadn't played great this year. You had Andre coming in playing, and Jalen coming in, and then you don't guard down the stretch enough to stop them against a senior team. I guess that's kind of my recap of it. I'm just so there's some good and bad in there. What's your kind of overall gut feeling about all that kind of mixed up stuff there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking out there and I'm watching, in crunch time, Adama, who I thought finished incredibly well against a giant, like one of the best shot blockers. You never see anyone score in the post on Ike. And I thought what Adama did in there was tremendous. Obviously, both him and Isaiah didn't rebound anywhere well enough for us to win the game today. But like looking out on the court, as disappointing as it was, to see some of the things, to lose, and as disappointing was to get down 18. You feel good about battling back. You feel good about you were able to kind of hang in the game with two freshmen in there. It's a weird feeling. It's like you feel. You're crushed that you lost, because if we don't get down 18, if we just handle that better and we get off to a better start, it's a bang bang game down the stretch that we obviously have a chance to win. But all this is going on while we've got two freshmen in crunch time against an older team that's been through the wars, and we're missing one of the best players in the country. So eventually, when one of the best players in the country returns to the fold, tighten things up defensively, we've got great potential. So, I mean, it's you're disappointed, but you also, what Dre did today was exciting. What Adama did today was exciting. What Gaffney did today offensively was exciting. We need more out of RJ, need more out of Tyrese, need more out of Isaiah. We're not going to win. He's our older guy. We're not. It's be hard for us to win. He's truly one of our best players with that type of line from him. Need more from our older guys.
Thank you.
Danny Barletta.
Hey, Coach. Seton Hall is a really good free throw shooting team, and they got to the line 31 times. How much of the issues on defense really came from that?
I mean, it was a lack of discipline at times. It was, being out, a little bit outsmarted, outfoxed. Bryce is great at drawing contact. Some of those were scramble plays where like we couldn't get the defensive rebound and, committed a foul. They were, Tyrese commits a huge fourth foul on Aiken when we're in the 3/4 court pressure and just doesn't play a good angle, and he dribbles it into his hip, Bryce brilliantly just, takes the angle and sells the foul. It's like some of it was just, not being very smart and disciplined, which is my fault.
One more, Gavin.
Dan, why do you think Tyler's been so inconsistent?
I think at the point of screens, he struggles physically. He's not great in terms of playing angles to set up screens and a feel for those types of intricacies and nuance of how to get open, how to use a pin, how to use a flare, how to use a stagger, how to get lost in a possession, where to lift to when a ball screen's happening. So obviously against teams that aren't as good as Seton Hall or against teams like St. John's that really get into you, he struggles. And against teams that aren't as good defensively, he'll find his way into threes. So, but he'll keep working. That's he's a weapon for us. And, but as guys are getting back and getting healthier, there's obviously, he's got to try to find a way to do other things in the game. If he's not making shots, then he's got to really be on the backboard and guarding, or else his value drops.
Last one, Dom.
Dan, is book night a possibility for Wednesday? Is he that close?
Yeah, I mean, he hits his 4-week range on Monday. I can't tell you the extent of what he did in practice, but he pushed. That kid's a baller. He pushed hard to play today. He put a lot of pressure on the medical staff last night. I mean, he's recovered well. He played one. He played one live segment. He played one live segment on the gray team yesterday versus the blue. Blues the starters, grays the bench guys, and the gray team won. So we'll be thrilled to get him back in there. I think now he's at the point where he's a game time decision moving forward here. But he wants in. Obviously, he's not like he wants in. He's not trying to sit and keep his status of where he stands for his potential future earnings. This dude wants back in, and that's great to see in the culture that we have in basketball today. That's not always like that.
Okay, Coach, that's it. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Hang on a second. Charlotte, why don't you go ahead?
Hey guys, this is for Andre. How good did it feel to get back on the court, and what was that like for the first time?
I mean, it's good. It's been a pretty up and down freshman year for me between injuries and other things. So, I mean, it's definitely good to get out there with the guys. And this whole week leading up to the game has been pretty intense in practice. So, I mean, I'm definitely enjoying just playing and getting out there.
Any other questions, guys? Go ahead, Dom.
Jalen, how did you feel coming out of this game about your performance? Did you feel like it was a breakthrough for you? Maybe your best game here?
I definitely think it was a breakthrough offensively. I think I played well offensively. Was hitting shots, making my free throws. But I think what I lacked during this game was defensively, especially down the stretch. They scored a lot of buckets on us individually and offense, and that's what kind of we were going runs, but we just couldn't get a stop, and that's what affected us during the whole game. So yeah.
Jeff Jacobs. Jeff, we can't hear you. You're muted.
Sorry about that. Jalen, this is for one for both of you. Jalen, Danny brought up your defense also after the game. What specifically do you have to do better, as, Book comes back and everybody's, pushing for minutes and stuff?
Definitely just effort on the defensive end. I think that we are a defensive team in general. We don't really score a lot of points. This is the first game we scored over 70 in a while. But defensively, we're known for being a defensive team, and we weren't doing that tonight. They shot 50% from the field, something like that, and 50 from three. And it was just we were just losing all individual matchups. I think that when we get Book back, Cook, everybody back, we just got locked down defensively, and the scoring will come. Scoring will come, definitely. But defensively, we just got to be better for the next games to come.
Dre, I just wanted to ask you about the dunk. It was spectacular. Where you came in all the way from the 3-point line when Jalen was driving there. Could you just kind of walk me through what you saw in that?
Pre-game, coach was just telling me try to crash the offensive glass, and that's basically what I just did. Initially, I just was gonna get the rebound, and then I seen it was above the rim, so I just put it in.
Gavin?
Andre, what kind of impact do you think you can have on the team down the stretch here?
I think what I could bring this year is a lot of energy. Come off the bench and just bring and infuse the team with energy while I'm on the court. Even when I'm not on the court, just trying to provide energy and defense and make open shots and crash the offensive glass and do what I can do to help us win. Really, that's all I'm thinking about as of now.
Anybody else have questions? No? Yes? No? Gavin, you? Yes, no?
Jalen, what's kind of gotten you going the last few games? It seems like you've been playing better.
Definitely just confidence in myself, confidence in my teammates, and just getting in the gym. I think, the best thing to get yourself going is just to be prepared in general. So that's staying in the gym, working on my jump shot, working on my hand, or whatever it is. Just working on my game. I think that's definitely helped me a lot. So it's just staying in the gym.
Any other questions, guys? No? Okay.